No, we don't have to do an intro. This is just live, man. We're live. That's it. Easy.
Ooh, fancy with it.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So this is our first live recording. So expect things to be messed up. Every live thing I've done, I've messed up something, and it just gets better with time. Like for instance, this time we're not going live on any platforms because we don't have them connected. Maybe AJ will get us connected to Facebook for the next one, and we'll also stream live on YouTube. But we just had to wait 24 hours for the thing to be accepted.
Yeah, it's real weird on YouTube. Like you have to request permissions to go live, even though you've already verified your account and done all the other stuff that they make you go through.
Yeah, it's weird, and I forgot I had to do that with mine because I was gonna go live that day, and then I was like, nope, 24 hours
Mm.
wait. But it's all good. Today, this is what are we doing? Oh, we're doing reaction videos today because why not? Everyone else does it in the world. So AJ has chosen 5 videos for me to react to, and I have chosen 5 for him to react to. I have no clue what he chose for me, and I hid my link so he couldn't see them, so he couldn't cheat and react earlier because he's a cheater.
What? Why would I cheat, man? You got to get the genuine reaction. First take's always the best take, man. Come on.
Yeah, so I would say you want to drop them in the. Are you using your stupid big monitor right now?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so put them in our folder, and I will share them on my screen so that everyone can see them.
Folder like Notion.
Yeah. Let me share this one with you, and you can throw yours in here. How about that?
Okay.
Give me a second.
I'm curious if we
Better bring.
picked any of the same videos.
I don't know. How did you look for videos for me? First of all.
uh, cybersecurity shorts.
Okay, yeah, that's about what I did
And
too.
then I would like that was my Google search, and then I would scroll through different people. So I tried to not get the same people across the videos. Oh, you have titles. I don't know.
No, I just pasted it in there, and it automatically pulled the title.
Oh,
So
interesting.
it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I forget embed or whatever the choice is.
I like the
Yeah,
first one.
so we'll do this for a little bit. We actually have our next podcast episode we're recording right after this one. So sneak peek. What are we doing on that? BEC, Business Email Compromise.
Yep.
So for more information, you gotta just wait a couple of weeks, and we'll drop the next episode. But it is a big problem. So we figured we do that. A lot of small businesses get hammered with that.
Yeah, I pulled some statistics for us. It's pretty interesting.
Did you pull them from ChatGPT or did you actually
Nah,
find them on
man, come
Google?
on. No, I did my own research, and by that I mean Arctic Wolf and Statistica and a few other sites.
Name dropping.
Yeah. Well, we'll have the
Yeah.
links in the description for everyone to, read and develop their own opinions.
Yeah.
I was watching one of our shorts earlier, and I know that I do it because I try to talk slow because, in general, I talk fairly fast and then I can get tongue-tied. And I was watching one of our shorts and I was trying to explain something and I was like, holy shit, dude, just like spit it out.
Acting like DJ, man.
Nah, the opposite. What are you drinking tonight? What you got?
I just have water because I have to do a late night run for an hour tonight. So
Oh,
I didn't want to drink beer and be thrown up on the side of the road.
that's fair. That's fair. I got some Basil Hayden dark rye.
Basil Hayden, yeah. Is that the one with the little figurines on the top of it? Or is
Mm-mm.
that something different?
I think it's like 10 Soldier or something.
No, it's not Tin Soldier. I forget the name of it. But cool. All right, you ready? Let's see.
You going first? Oh yeah, you have to share.
Yeah. Let's see. How do I want to share this? And we'll do it in a incognito window. I think that's what I will do, actually. Why? Because I said so. That's why. All right, is the first one with Sandra?
I don't know.
You just pick videos.
Well, it didn't like do what yours did where it shows the title. So it is what it is.
Is it the highest paying certification one?
Sure, man. Pop it up.
Okay, whatever. Sure. So AJ has no idea what he shared. He just randomly selected stuff. So window. Just make sure I'm selecting the right one. I should have just like exited out of everything. I'm trying to find the right window now. This is bad news bears.
Like, since Zoom updated and you can share like just a tab for some reason, I don't know why you would want to do that, but it made all of the sharing just look completely different. Like you have to scroll through all your different options to share now. My thing wasn't showing up. I had to close a window and then it started to show up. So I think I had like 20 or 30 different things open. I had to close one to see what I wanted to share.
Interesting.
Oh, our link on LinkedIn is actually showing our faces now that it's started. Yeah, this looks right.
Okay. Oh, cool. So it wasn't doing that before?
What?
It wasn't showing our faces prior?
No, because it wasn't started.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so
cool.
It's like updating the link as we speak.
That is nifty. Yeah, it's supposed to show us the guests and stuff in the room too. I don't know where that's at. It also is supposed to show a chat, so people should be able to ask questions when they show up in here.
I wonder.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if that's only for you as a host, since I'm not a producer.
It may be, if that's the case. I have I think I have it all up where I can see I have chat up, but I don't know if that's just us chatting. I should have watched more. I did watch a couple of videos on how to use it and everything, but who knows? All right, so let's
Make
check
sure
this
you.
out.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, here we go. First one.
Certifications for beginners. In no particular order, number one, the Security Plus, which makes about $58,000 per year. Number two, the GSEC certification, which makes about $93,000 per year. Number three, the Network Plus, which makes you about $73,000 per year. And last but not least, the A Plus, which makes about $53,000 per year based on average salaries from Glassdoor. I personally have studied for my Security Plus, and it's come a long way in helping me in my early career, but getting any of these entry-level cybersecurity certifications can definitely help give you a boost in terms of getting you that first cybersecurity job. These are the highest.
All right. Yeah, I guess you saw that on my face. So I guess let's talk about these. So
Sec Plus.
Security Plus, I think that's about right. I will say it depends on the state. South Carolina, where I'm at, you're looking probably 40 to 50,000 a junior level role. Tampa, I think my first job was around 60, 62, so that's pretty close. But I had more than that. But other people that got hired on who had that certification, they would be making the same. Everyone made the same as an entry level. So pretty close. What do you think?
I was actually trying to pull it up because I feel like I'm, somewhat disconnected with being in Chattanooga compared to like Nashville, for example. Chattanooga businesses are a lot smaller. It's looking like 45 to 65 ish, according to ZipRecruiter. But then you also have like $22 to $30 hourly, so whatever that would convert to, probably 40 ish around there.
That makes sense because y'all have a lower cost of living in Tennessee in general than a lot of places.
Oh, there is a healthcare security engineer, which I would want more than just Sec Plus, but it says 75 to 85.
Yeah, Sec Plus though, I will say, and I talked about this on our friend Ben's his video I did with him recently, and this is probably the most cited certification for cybersecurity job listings out there. I did statistics like a year or so ago. It wasn't even close. The second place one, it wasn't even close. Like we're talking about multiples more job listings with Security Plus in them for cybersecurity roles. All right, let's look at this other one. What is it? GSEC? I doubt that. I had this one. I didn't pay to renew it, so that's why I passed tense.
What? That's the oh gosh, who is it? I was gonna say Jayak, but is that right?
GIAC, yeah. Sans is $7,000 Security Plus equivalent.
Okay. Yeah, I've never had this one. I had GCED, Enterprise Defender, I think.
Yeah, that's their like entry level blue team one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I doubt this. I would say this one actually doesn't show up in a ton of job listings in general. I like to see the statistics, but I don't remember seeing that when I pulled stuff from LinkedIn. That's where I did my my research at. I do believe this one is on the 8570. I think that's the right the right nomenclature for the government stuff. This is one of the entry level ones you can get. But because it's entry level, I highly doubt it's 93. I would bet it would end up in the Sec Plus category. But I mean, if she pulled numbers, she pulled numbers. I just imagine that the sample size is a lot smaller for the certification than the Sec Plus.
Yeah, I know at least when I was in the military, Sec Plus was required. And that was actually required as part of our tech school. So, like, where you basically certified to join the big boy Air Force. And if you failed, then you had another test attempt. And then if you failed that, you got reclassed, find a new job. So,
Did y'all have to do 8570 for actual military? We did as contractors.
yeah.
Oh, okay, that's why. Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, 8570, there's like this list of certifications you have to have in the military. Let me stop sharing and bring it up. 8570. Yeah, here we go. There's a new one too. I don't know what it is. I'm looking for it. There's one that oh, here it is. Yep, this is it. So this is basically if you want a job as a contractor in the military, you have to have these, and obviously in the military it applies as well. So they have like these different levels, and I don't know if this is the new one. I know they just redid these, I think last year. But you can see GSEC and Sec Plus here at IAT level 2, and there's IAM level 1, and these just mean different things. I forgot. I think IAT's like analyst or something, and IAM is some other kind of analyst or something.
Intelligence or something?
Maybe. I forget. Acronyms were the worst with acronyms. And then we had to have one of these and then one of these as well for incident responder when I worked in the SOC.
Yeah.
So
we had to have GCIH at the AFCERT.
Yeah, that's what I had. I had that one as well. But I mean, I had a lot of these except OffSec isn't on here. I think the new one has OffSec though. Like I had the SSCP, which is Sec Plus equivalent in my book. So it's like the junior version of CISP. I had to have that for work. When I started pen testing, they made every cybersecurity person get that for whatever reason. So I studied for the OSCP and that at the same time, but I really just kind of studied for the OSCP in the boot camp and then just sat for the test. Yeah, so this is it. A bunch of stuff, but there you go. Let's see, we still have that up. Let me share this again. Let's see. I think the next one was Net Plus. Net Plus, maybe. Maybe. A lot of people for cybersecurity, I don't think Net Plus is really a requirement, and I doubt I doubt that would net you more in cybersecurity specifically. Maybe if you did networking stuff, but typically I would lean towards a vendor specific certification if you're looking at security roles. Like Cisco has a specific security focused network certification. I don't know about Juniper, but those are the two main ones.
Like CCNA?
Yeah. Like I think they used to have a CCNA security. I think they still do though. I don't know about that one, but probably sample size again. This was my very first certification actually, and the second one was Sec Plus.
Really?
Yep. And this was hard as shit because I didn't know anything about networking at the time. But I wouldn't say it. There's so much overlap between this and the Sec Plus one, honestly. So I don't know. I truthfully, I doubt you're going to make 73 and 93, this one and the last one, as an entry-level cybersecurity professional. I'm just saying. Good luck. Good luck on that one. If you do, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah. It also depends on where you're at, right? Like if you're in the Bay Area, it might be higher, but obviously, comparatively, it doesn't translate that well. So
I'm sure there will be some person that says, yes, you can make this entry level and you don't have to do anything to get it. I will say, believe what you want, and it's a game of statistics. Is this repeatable for most people? Probably not.
I don't know if I sent you the video, but there was one that was basically saying that this guy got 100 plus with just Sec Plus after like 4 months. Like it went from 0 to getting a Sec Plus. Oh, I did send it to you. Whoops.
Spoiler alert. I would say that is not realistic for most people, but we'll react to that whenever that comes. All right, let's see. What's the next one on here? A plus. Now, there's a big debate in cybersecurity of whether or not people should go after the A plus. That's a huge debate. And I would say depends. Depends on your flexibility. And what I mean by that is if you can't move, right, you're stuck there because of whatever life circumstances, family or whatever, and there is not a big market where you're at for cybersecurity roles, you're probably going to have to start at the help desk to get experience if you don't have any experience and work your way up. And the reason I say that is because, yes, there are remote jobs out there. They're getting fewer and far between. But besides that, remote jobs are so competitive because now you're competing against everyone, at least in the United States or whatever country you're in. You're competing against everyone that's applying. So the candidate pool is a lot bigger, which means a lot more competitive, much more difficult to do. So this could be an option, and I would say that's probably pretty close to accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty close to Sec Plus. As far as like, if you're in cybersecurity, should you get the A plus? I've never had it. I've never looked at the material, and it's always been more of a help desk certificate in my experience. Even in the military, that's how it was kind of geared. So I forgot what it was called. Back in the day, I was like cyber operations support. So we all had to get Sec Plus, and then you had more engineers who got the Net Plus certificate in order to graduate. And then there was someone who had school for like half the time that we did, and they got A plus. And I remember being at the cert, like our help desk guys had A plus, Net plus, but very few had Sec plus. And not to say that like Security Plus is end all be all by any means, but it's just always been a different area of IT and not necessarily security in my experience.
Yeah, I mean it's cool, I guess. I would say the only other reason you may consider it is if you're like a grandpa with computers, like you don't know anything. You can barely turn it on. You don't even know how to install like a program, maybe. Because that's something that's not a use case I really thought about, but someone made that argument. I'm like, that's a pretty good argument for it. you don't hardly know how to turn on a computer, you might want to learn some fundamentals. Start somewhere, because I will say, without fundamentals, just in anything, it's really hard to start stacking on these more complex topics. I 100% agree with that insight, but I will counter that with, there's probably not a lot of people in our generation and younger that are at that level of computer experience. Like, we've been raised almost our whole lives with computers. We know basics. So, it could be prudent to just move on to cybersecurity concepts. So depends on your boat you're in, I would say.
Yeah, I had a guy in high school who didn't know what a computer was. He was.
Where is he from?
Well, it was more because of his religion.
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Yeah, I want to say he was Amish, maybe Mormon.
That would make sense.
One of those two. Very different religions, but
yeah. I think Mormons can use computers.
Well, I think he was Mormon. He had just never used computers. I've mentioned him before. He had never seen a black person until we were in basic training either. So very sheltered life, regardless of where he lived. But it was, I mean, you get those people, and my instructors said that they have seen it because one of the first blocks in school was like, "This is a keyboard. This is a mouse." And I'm like, do we really have to go over this? And I mean, you know how the military is, right? Like, if someone
Maybe.
doesn't know, everyone has to know. So
yeah,
it made sense.
Barney style. That's where the saying come from. What's crazy too is, like, I saw that in the military too. You have people that come from very, like, I don't want to say sheltered, but they come from specific regions. They're like really isolated in terms of, like, people from other countries, different nationalities, whatever. And they're just like, whoa, what is going on? This is, just this exposure, and there's just like deer in the headlights. It's kind of interesting. Like, it's something you don't think about until you go in there, if you're used to just like normal, like walking around in a town and a city and stuff like that. It's like, oh, this is all normal, but there's a shock factor if you come from the middle of nowhere with not a lot of diversity and culture wherever you're from.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. Yeah. Let's see, what else? We spend so much time. This is okay. Hopefully people are getting cool stuff out of it. All right, I think that's it for, who's this? What's her name? Sandra?
So overall, what would you say? Agree or disagree?
I agree that it is probably likely that her numbers are correct from her research, but I would disagree in the fact that people could realistically expect this salary starting out in cybersecurity, entry level.
Cool. Case closed.
That's a very political answer. Very political. Yeah, I'm getting good at this. I'm getting good at this politics game. All right, let's see. Next one.
Do you want to switch back and forth, or?
Oh yeah, let's do that. Good idea. I don't want to hog the reaction. I want to see AJ be like, "What is this stupid crap?"
My face is not very quiet either, so this will be an experience.
All right, here we go. This is gonna be great. Oh, this is perfect for you too, actually. So, in case most of you don't know, AJ's stupid and didn't have a degree.
I'm like trying to squint to see what's on the screen, and then you just say I'm stupid.
All right, here you go. Maybe. It was working a second ago. What the heck?
Wow, nice internet.
Yeah, no kidding.
What do you want?
Cybersecurity professional. Effectively, what that means is you have to know the totality of computers, computer architecture, programming, networking, cloud, AI. Cool. So that's possible. I have yet to meet someone in cybersecurity that knows all the things and knows all of them well. I know people who are like masters of like corners of the field, But if you tell me you're a fucking master of all of cybersecurity, I really, really don't trust you. Sorry, it's just how I feel. This is particularly bad in the U.S. because like the U.S. college system is mostly for profit. If you get a degree in cybersecurity, what they're probably going to give to you is a piece of paper that says like you know a little bit about everything. I don't see the value in that, as opposed to if you got a degree in like embedded systems or a degree in IoT, right? Where you now are a master of that thing and now you can learn the security implications of that thing. To be
Yeah, that's the video. What do you think?
So, first off, I believe he said to be a cybersecurity professional means you have to be a master in all things, essentially.
Let's
be a cybersecurity professional, effectively what that means is you have to know the totality of computers, computer architecture,
False.
Okay.
And let me tell you why. So, I am an actor. I'm a professional actor. I get paid for my services. Being paid makes you a professional. That is the delineation there. So if you get paid and you understand security or you understand programming, which by the way, completely different, then you would be considered a professional in that field. So already disagree with that. Now, the master, that's a terrible word. Typically people would say expert, I would think, but either way, saying that you're a master or an expert, I do agree with his stance where I would disagree with that because there's so many nuances and there's so many things. Never put expert on your resume. People will look things up for the purpose of catching you in something. I've seen it done. People that we work with. I'm sure you can guess who. The meme lord. He's done it to people. So I would be wary about having certain terms on your resume if you were told that was a great idea. I do agree, cybersecurity degrees in college in general in the US is for profit. Obviously, you can look that up. And I mean, we've said it multiple times, just because you have a degree doesn't mean anything. It means you can pass the test. Now, that said, I don't have a cybersecurity degree or a master's or anything like that. So a lot of people, and I'm not putting myself in this bucket by any means, but a lot of people who are very smart and who have businesses are self-taught in whatever field that may be. So that's something as well that I would agree, but you know, the overall tone, I guess I would disagree with.
You disagree with his tone?
Well, because he's like, if you're a professional, you gotta know this and this and this. And it's like, no, you don't.
It's like this meme I saw where like the wife is like, I typically agree like with my husband, but I just don't like his tone, so I have to disagree.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I agree. AJ is false though. He has 2 associate's degrees, so he does have a degree. So he's misleading everyone that he claims is a bachelor's level knowledge.
Why are we putting that out there, man?
Because he already said it on a podcast, so
We
it's
put it
nothing
out.
new. Did we?
Yes.
Oh, oops. It's okay. Well, I will say this though: like one of the smartest pen testers I know was a botany dropout. Had no degree whatsoever. Wasn't even studying it in school. He just thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, realistically, and I mean, you know this. You study a ton, but the people who are self-driven tend to thrive in this field, especially, which is probably why I don't thrive. But you know, there's certain aspects that make you better, and it's not just because like you know everything. It's also like who you know, who like you can leverage when something occurs. So like I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I know that Mike is really good at exploit development or like attacks and stuff like that. So if I have a question, I'm going to go to Mike instead of just being like, oh, I'll try this. And then a week later, you know, if someone's asking me about the deadline, I'm like, oh, well, I got nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, I usually cringe where people are like, "Oh, you really need to focus on soft skills," and I usually cringe because it's like secondary. But usually, like communication is a really good skill to kind of nail down, being able to convey complex knowledge to other people that may not be as knowledgeable in a specific area as you. Like when you start getting more experience and getting into these bigger teams with deep specialization in some area, being able to translate your knowledge and your specific vertical for them, like talking cybersecurity, talking about an exploit to someone in the networking specialty or a web application or something like that, comes in handy because a lot of times they're your customers or they're your kind of partners and they need to understand. Or if you get in consulting, it's huge to be able to communicate. You start working with executives, they don't know what the hell you're talking about. So it doesn't matter how smart you are. If you can't talk about it at a lower level, or higher level, I guess is the proper term, then it doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah.
All right. Next. So AJ hated that guy. Let me just put that out there.
That's great. Now I'm going to get hate mail.
Just kidding. Everyone has some kind of point, whether it's valid or not.
Man, we should have commented back to government troll guy and invited him to the live.
Oh yeah, we are both government stooges. How do you say it? Stooge. Government stooge. Stooges.
Stooge.
We're stooges.
I don't know. What is the plural of stooge?
Stoogesses. Stoogei. Oh, no bridges. I think I've met this guy before.
It is stooges.
I think I've met no bridges before.
I don't know. Is it that guy?
Did he go to that conference we went to? Wasn't he there? Maybe. I don't know.
Wait, which one did you click on? Okay, this guy. Yes, I know him from somewhere, and I want to say he was in the training that we took for LLMs, but it could be wrong.
Oh. I was thinking we met him at the conference here in Charleston we went to last year.
Maybe that. But I know we've met him. The reason why I thought it was the training is he has something in his background, I think.
NSA logo. All right. This is mine for... Wait. No, this is yours for me. Okay, here we go.
Do what it is that you're doing. There are people who will hear this advice, and somebody said it over on YouTube, right?
Here's my initial reaction. I get what's that money guy name? That's what vibes he gives me instantly. Yeah, he gets Dave Ramsey of cybersecurity, Neil Bridges. All right, continuing.
In this market, Hector, love to see you, Hector. In this market, someone is going to one-up you. That's how...
He also yells like Gary. Or Jared.
Dave.
Gerald. Gary. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Competitive it is. There are people...
Augur. Simply Cyber. He's like so energetic. He gives me heart palpitations if I watch his live stream. Sorry, Gary. It's tough, man. I'm like super chill all the time. I can't take the high tempo.
Out there, there are people out there who want your job.
Facts.
There are people out there who want the job you have now. There are people out there who want the job you're trying for.
Yep. Agree.
There are people out there who want your spot. And if you're not willing to do whatever it takes to secure your spot, you are telling people that it is okay for them to come in and take your spot.
This kind of reminds me of like the mafia, you know? As soon as they see weakness, they go in for the kill or the unalive. I don't know what you can say on YouTube.
Cool, Gauss banned already.
Yeah. Boom. Shadow banned.
First live.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I think most people, when just speaking directly to people looking to get into cybersecurity, the chances and speed at which you break into cybersecurity is a direct reflection of the effort you put in. I think those move together, because there are people who are going to be like me who do this nonstop, and I found it relatively easy to break in. Although there's always going to be luck as an aspect of that. You happen to be in the right place at the right time. You happen to do really well on an interview, whatever. But yeah, I mean, if you're not getting certifications, if you're not studying, if you're not continuing to get knowledge, then yeah, you may lose your job. If you're not figuring out how to perform better, how to set yourself in the upper quadrant of people you work with, yeah, probably going to get fired. You're probably going to find it difficult to find a new job. Yeah, I mean, it is competitive, especially now. There's been a significant drop off in the number of jobs that are out there. So yeah, competition. As the competition increases, the level requirements of knowledge and capability also increase. So if you are going in with zero experience, that's going to be hyper competitive. Even with experience, the roles are competitive as well. Yeah, that's like that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave Ramsey.
It's funny because Ramsey's in Nashville. But yeah, I totally agree. And it's not necessarily an adversarial take, right? It's just that someone wants it, and so if they continue to outwork you, then like they deserve it over you, right? At some point, like it just is what it is.
Yeah. And what's funny is the most engaged post I ever made on LinkedIn was talking to effect of work harder than everyone else. That's how you succeed. And I got, this is grind culture. It's so toxic. Don't tell people to do that. No, do that. Listen to Neil Bridges. But I will also say, someone brought up, which I didn't even think about because I just inherently do this. Hard work and strategy go a lot further than hard work and stupidity. So if you are just, working at this 10 hours a day, 18 hours a day, but you're just like all over the place, just scattered shot, and you're not focused, you don't have a strategy, you don't have kind of a plan, all that hard work's not going to be as effective as if you had a plan. Like, for instance, you want to be a SOC analyst, right? Okay, look at job listings, figure out what the most sought after skills, certifications, lab time things are. Build a roadmap. How do I get this stuff? What order should I go in? And then chase after it versus I'm going to do networking, I'm going to do pen testing, I'm going to do SOC stuff, I'm going to do compliance stuff, I'm going to do engineering stuff, and then I'm going to look for a job at the same time. Or I'm going to spend 8 hours out of my day looking for a job instead of studying. Be smart, be strategic, and you're more likely to succeed. Facts.
Yeah, I was listening to a talk earlier, and I forgot which general said it, but it was basically along the lines of an aggressively executed good plan beats out a perfect plan executed poorly or something to that effect. Executed, maybe not even poorly, maybe just beats a perfectly beats a perfect plan. Whatever, dude. The balls are not bouncing in my favor with the reading terminology, but it was basically like taking action is more important than sitting there and trying to collect all of the information until the point that you feel like you're ready to take action.
Yeah, there's a lot of self-help insert sayings there. Paralysis by analysis, or whatever it is, or the plan only lasts as long as the first shot or the first punch to the face, whatever one you want to go. Yeah, it's like the entrepreneurs. They just say yes to everything and try to figure out how to make it work. Because I guarantee you, the more information you get, feedback from your actions, the better your plan's going to be. So if you spend all that time trying to generate a plan based off of zero feedback, you're wasting a lot of time where you could be getting rapid feedback and rapidly responding to that feedback.
Yeah.
Boom. Wisdom from two morons. Okay.
Stooges.
Yeah, two stooges. There you go. The cyber stooges. We can change our name if we ever get in trouble for the name we have. The other C-suite cyber.
We produce more than they do.
Oh yeah, we're way cooler too.
But yeah, look at us.
Look at us. Look at us. All right, here we go.
Oh, nice stash.
Yeah, another yeller. Here we go. We're just like so low key compared to a lot of people. We're just like, yeah. Except
AI will influence the cybersecurity industry. Yes, I will tell you exactly how it's going to. So, used to in yesteryear, how code was generated is there's like 1 or 2 or 3 people looking at the code and taking a long time to generate it. And every now and then they accidentally F things up, such as me, where I accidentally created a vulnerability in Netflix that would take down everything. But today's standard, instead of just having the person looking at the code and thinking about it and all that, they instead have something called Copilot, which comes in and builds all the code really super quickly. And if somebody uploads a potential security issue in the last 10 years to any popular open source repo, Copilot is going to gloriously copy that over and over and over again just for you. Cybersecurity, stocks going up.
Yeah, I gotta say, this dude's voice annoys me. But
he reminds me of an actor, and I can't think of his name.
Is it the guy who played the parrot in Aladdin?
No, but that's kind of there.
Oh, okay.
But...
yeah, I was gonna say I saw him on the episode of Somebody Feed Phil where he goes to Croatia. Gilbert Godfrey is his name. Anyways,
it's not that bad of a voice.
Also, the drawing really reminds me of who is it? The pirate guy? I think his name is like
yeah, Pirate Software. I think, or something like that. Yeah.
So that was interesting, but yeah, it's pretty spot on. Obviously, AI is not a silver bullet in its current form, and there's a reason that it's ingesting those vulnerabilities, right? Because it's public. So someone has probably posted something containing that, and then it's trained on that data. So it's like, yeah, here's how you do this. I got into a fight with ChatGPT last night. I sent it to Mike.
You're in a death spiral. It just didn't want to give you the right answer.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah.
That's right, though. Yeah, I agree. Funny. I agree. Voice is annoying.
Good mustache, though. Positive.
Yeah.
Another positive.
You know what? The mustache cancels out the voice. I'll give him that.
Yeah. I'll have to find who the actor is. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, a lot of the code, just to point out too, it used to be people who write code go to Stack Overflow to get answers. Now AI has absorbed all that information from Stack Overflow, and there are so many vulnerabilities in there, like they're using deprecated libraries, deprecated functions, or whatever. And luckily, like tools, gosh, I can't even think of IDEs. There you go. That's the acronym I'm looking for. IDEs such as Visual Studios will let you know if you're using deprecated functions and stuff like that now. So it helps you out. Depends on what plugins and stuff you have, but a lot of the IDEs are just really good. A lot of cool plugins. You just have to play with it until you find stuff that you like, that you vibe with.
Yeah. Plugins are also a great way to deliver malware.
That's true. That's very true. Let's see. We're on number 3. Let's see. This one's mine. Here we go. Let's see what AJ has for me. Already. Cybersecurity secrets you must know. I like the Matrix stuff in the background.
It's not real.
security secrets you need to know. 1, you don't need
It's frozen. Okay, there
to
we go.
spend 4 years in college and waste 40,000
What is going on? Why does it keep screaming? Why does there
to
we go.
200,000 in tuition fees. This is a huge misconception. 2, you can learn cybersecurity in just 4 months. Just like our student Carl Scott, who went from making $15 an hour to landing a $100K job in cybersecurity. 3, you don't need to work long, exhausting hours and have poor work-life balance like many other professions. These IT jobs can be, 1, remotely, and you can be only working 40 hours a week. In fact, I went from working on a help desk earning $28,000 a year, and within 5 years, earning $350,000 as an IT architect. My journey taught me a lot of lessons, and I've condensed that in a blueprint. If you want to follow my path and discover these secrets even deeper, then click the link in my bio.
I want to discover your secrets. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think we've talked about some of these points already where it's like, is it reproducible? Like, I think a lot of these people, a lot of these schools, they just have to throw that shock factor at people. There's like some sort of, people who are in some aspects they're targeting desperate people or people who are just completely unhappy where they are and they're like, oh, cool number. Really 350,000. Wow. But how many people are making that? Not very many. Not very many. Maybe if you have your own business, perhaps. But like working for another company, you have to be working at like a big company, like a Fang or something, to be making that kind of money.
Yeah. I just Googled NGT Academy, and their tagline is launch your IT career in networking or cybersecurity online with our military grade inspired next generation training programs.
So, just so you know, for those who weren't in the military, when you hear the word military grade, it means the lowest bidder, cheapest piece of crap out there. That's what it means to me. I use a lot of military stuff that broke all the time.
Oh man, he's another Air Force guy.
Oh, it's one of your people. You better go talk to your man.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead.
Sorry, this is interesting. I did not look up the company before this. It says combines military style training with decades of experience in network engineering and cybersecurity. I don't know about you, but all the training I had in the military sucked. Like, it was multiple monsters because that's all we had, and it was just trying to stay awake because it was so bad.
I mean, I had to fight to stay awake in all my classes because I had stupid guard duty and whatever all the time. I mean, my training was effective. I would say there's some aspects, and I think we've talked about it in terms of training. There's some aspects of the style that work great, whereas I show you, then you do. I show, then you do. And like a checklist of breaking down classes in small bite-sized chunks that are repeatable. Barney style, I'll use that word. Sesame Street style, ABC, whatever you want to call it. Like infantry, everything's as simplified as you can go for infantry. Not to say they're not smart, but it is probably the lowest score in the Army for a job on the ASVAB. So, you get what you get. But they have to make it approachable, whatever the skill is, for people of all walks of life. But other than that, yeah.
Man.
Not the greatest, but approachable, maybe. Here's other stuff he said. You don't have to work more than 40 hours a week. Depends on where you work. Depends on what you're doing. I would say if you're a lot of people breaking into the industry end up in startups. In there, you will be working more than 40 hours a week, I promise. Might lead to burnout potentially, but if you get a job in like the government space, if there are any jobs left, yeah, 40 hours easy. Yeah, they don't really require a lot out of you to be successful when you work for the government. Pretty slow pace. I would say that's 40 hours, but it depends. I would say using a blanket statement like that is unfair. And I will say only one of my jobs since I've been in IT, information technology in general. Okay, two out of whatever I have been 40 hour a week jobs. So that's, I don't know how many I've had. So 30% maybe. How about you? How do you feel about the 40 hours a week?
Um, yeah, it definitely depends on where you're at and what level, I would say. Like right now, probably around 40, but previously, you know, probably less, like especially during COVID. I feel like I was probably working 16 maybe. And I was finding all kinds of stuff during COVID because I was just hunting, you know? Like
You're not supposed to say that about remote life and COVID work. You're supposed to be like, yeah, 40.
I'm still remote. I'm still like working weekends and stuff. It just differs. Like the deadlines that you have, the um, free time that you have. Like on one hand, no one cares if you work the weekends, right? I don't have to go into the office to badge into work. I can work from here. So there's times where I'll make my girlfriend mad because I'll get bored and I'll start working on stuff. And it is what it is. We're salaried. Like back when I was in the military, I was like, man, I'm salaried. I'm always on the clock. That's how it felt. Now I'm like, no, that's not life. You know. Yeah, I'd say probably 40 to 50. But I know people that are working more. Like probably people on my team that work more because they're assigned to different things.
Depends on how hungry you are too. Some people chase promotions, some people chase raises, and so they're going to put in more effort. And then you're also not taking into account self-improvement time. So if you're studying for certifications, that obviously cranks up time to more than 40 hours because you can't sit there and study all day at work. It's nowhere is going to let you do, well, most places aren't going to let you do that. So likelihood of you just working 40 hours and continuing to climb besides the government, not very likely, I would say. You're going to have to put the time in somewhere, whether it's directly job specific to what you're being paid for or oriented towards the future of improving your life circumstances, whatever they happen to be.
Yeah. And I mean, I have different careers, right? So like I'm working on something else during that time. So if this is all you're doing, like if your goal is cybersecurity, then yeah, it's probably more than 40.
Yep. All right. Next one. I think we're given some good sharing with people. All right, so we'll get some good shorts out of this, I think, at a minimum. All right, you ready for yours?
About your cybersecurity. 10 must-have cybersecurity.
Bro, it's
I'll freeze it.
not even a real person.
Yeah, and
Cybersecurity essentials keep you secure. Yeah, okay.
Tools to keep you secure are cybersecurity essentials, password managers, antivirus software, VPNs, two-factor authentication, firewalls, secure browsing extensions, secure email services, regular software updates, backup solutions. Be safe from hackers. Contact us at 337.
Hell no. Hell This in itself is likely a scam.
Yep, probably.
This is fake help desk. I'm assuming. I don't know. Let's get a Google number. Let's call them.
All right. Well, with that aside, what do you feel about these top 10 must-have tools to keep you safe or secure, whatever? Cybersecurity essentials, do you think you need that?
That's not a real thing. I did count. There are actually 10. Password managers, I mean, they're great, not necessary. AV, yeah. VPNs, also not necessary. Depends, like, are you a business or are you a person, right? Unless you're trying to watch something, that then maybe you want a VPN for that, but that's not, again, required to keep you secure. Two-factor, sure, on banks. Otherwise, not necessary. I get pissed off.
Very necessarily. Very necessary.
No, like to get into your Facebook, you don't need 2FA.
For sure.
No. You're paranoid.
Everything should have 2FA. So someone was asking in our Discord, what are some things you disagree with? Here we go. There's one. MFA. 2FA. Here's an area we disagree in. I think everything should have MFA unless it's like completely stupid.
What's your MFA to get into your phone?
My face.
That's one, first off.
Well, it depends. If you're trying to get in my iCloud account, it definitely has it.
No, your phone.
Number?
Okay. So you don't have 2FA to get into your phone, but I bet you I can access your entire life from your phone.
That's fair, but I will say there is there's additional security measures that help limit the attack surface there in terms of like lockout policy to limit. Yes, there's not MFA there, but there are compensating measures in place.
Okay, so do you think you need MFA if you're using a passkey?
So passkey, you're talking about like what they're switching to now from passwords, using passkeys instead?
Yeah.
The passkeys are, actually, I don't know if I've done a lot of stuff with passkeys. I can think of like one thing that uses a passkey. I haven't really implemented them.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I use, like, my passkey is tied to my fingerprint because I use a MacBook. So, like, if I log into our, one of our accounts, it's a passkey, and I use my fingerprint to access that passkey.
Yeah. Well, if you think about that, like, okay, it's fingerprint, so it's something you have, but typically there are other things that are looking like your geolocation and things like that as well that are also applied when logging in the stuff. So let's do it.
I don't think that applies to authentication. It's two factors, sure. It's not authentication.
Okay, not authentication.
Google.
Stop doing the AAA crap with me. It's 8 o'clock. Stop messing with me.
Yeah. If you're a business, sure, minus security essentials. If you're a person, no, disagree. Updates, AV, 2FA, we'll give you that one. Email, you don't really control. So, like, use Gmail, don't use Yahoo, which has been compromised many times, or Hotmail.
It's like, I feel like if you ever sent in a resume for a cybersecurity job and you had a Yahoo email, instantly trashed.
There are so many people I see with Yahoo emails, and it is worrisome. Like, it's been owned many times by another nation, or nation nexus, to be fair, but dumb. And Gmail's free, unless you want to do, like, what's the
Proton.
Yeah, Proton. I was gonna say Signal, and I knew that was wrong. Proton Mail. I have one somewhere. I don't even know what I set it up for. But yeah, cool. Terrible, probably a scam. They want your money. Don't call that number.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. I would say too, browser extensions, browsing extensions, whatever, however they say them. I would eliminate as many of those as possible from your browser, because that is typically how people take advantage of those, and there will be attacks on those. And almost all of them are just like riddled with vulnerabilities because they don't really pay a lot of attention to the development process of those. So, like, for instance, people were targeting password manager browser extensions. That occurs quite a bit. Then you also have shopping browser extensions. You name it, just get rid of it. It provides a gateway to your system and escape from the sandbox that is your browser. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah.
Don't use browser extensions.
Yeah. And there's also, I mean, there's a caveat there, right? Like, similar to apps on mobile devices. Like Apple does really well, Google does not necessarily do as well. And there's an extension that you can get. What is it? CRM, CXM, XRM, one of those acronyms, where you can like see the browser plugin content.
I don't know. I don't use browser plugins.
I've used it.
Extensions.
I've used it to like add or like read a malicious plugin and then make it my own kind of thing.
The only ones I use is if they're in my lab and I'm pen testing with them, like in the VM. That's about the only time, because I use them for like identifying technology stacks and stuff like that, typically.
CRX, that's what it's called.
CRX. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, so it shows you the source code of another, like you pass it the link to the extension within Google, and it'll show you the source code, so you can check it for like backdoors and stuff like that.
Not that people are actually going to do that or understand what they see. So
no. So hire us.
There you go. Don't hire AJ to read your code, though.
I'll read it.
Well, you understand that. That's a different thing. All right. Let's see. All right, this one's for me. Let's see.
Of course we didn't get hacked. Who told you that? Our company does an amazing job of keeping everything secure, including our customers' data. Yeah, we got hacked, but I have the utmost confidence in all of our staff, and we've done everything to secure our organization and minimize the impact that it's caused. So there is no need to worry if you're a customer of ours. Yeah, we got hacked, and I have a list of people in our company that said no to implementing security that would have minimized this. Our CEO, James, our CFO, Sam, said it's too expensive. Our COO, Susan, said no way. Our VP of HR, Mary, said that we can't hire any more people. We don't have the appropriate budget. VP of Compliance, Jane, said there's no compliance requirement for this. And our head of engineering said that's going to slow things down. Companies, you have to do a better job of handling incidents. When you interact with the media and others and you react like that, it is going to hurt you in the long run. I am telling you, you have to do better.
All right. Yeah, that's mostly true. I will say, though, some of the public notifications, some of the what do they call it? There's a specific word they call it, but the lawyers typically handle that stuff, and they're probably the ones that neuter what they're putting out for good reason, for legal liability reasons. So some of that's them. I'm also sure. I don't want to say I'm also sure. Probably, likely, the CEO is like, yeah, don't put that crap out there. Yeah, I mean, it's all a game of risk to them. They're in some cases, we've seen some major breach cases where they're completely hosed. But and some of it's like they don't know how bad it is, or they're not conveying how like far up shit creek they are well to the CEO, or you just have those different mindsets. Some of them are maliciously misleading people, and some of them they just don't know. They're like, no, we hire good people. We're sure. Okay, maybe it's worse than we thought. But the other problem too, you'll see a lot of organizations, they don't go and identify the actual root cause of the breach. And so it happens pretty quick. So we've seen that with companies like, do I want to say the companies? I want to say the companies, but you'll see where it's like repeatedly. And when I talk with clients, that's one of the things I like to chat with them about is that, hey, you probably don't want to do work with these people because there are obviously systemic issues with their security practices because they just keep getting breached. So you probably don't want to do business with them. I mean, let's be real. Probably don't.
Sounds like a firewall company that you're talking about.
Actually, I was thinking of someone else, but them too. And sometimes things happen, right? Things happen. But if you don't, and that's the problem, if you hire a really bad incident response company, they're not going to find the root cause of your breach, and it's just going to happen again. You're not going to get the attackers out. They work so hard to persist in the environment. And if you don't get in there, you're not going to get them. I've had my fair share of incident response situations, and that's what I focus on. You're getting a lot of pressure from the executives to speed things up, to get things going, and maybe take some shortcuts. But you have to really push back, and hopefully these other companies, their people are pushing back saying, hey, we need to take our time and make sure we figure this crap out, or it's just going to happen again. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the most important thing is what you said at the beginning with it being tied to legal and basically how can they, I guess, disperse the risk, if you will, because they kind of have to accept that they were breached, but how can they minimize the damage, right? And then also, I just love to see videos like this where it's like, because I've seen companies be like, "Oh, we weren't breached," and it's like, actually, they got our entire customer database, and it's like, yeah, dude, good job.
You know what the even better situation is? I love seeing this with ransomware gangs. This is what keeps people honest. We weren't breached. They're lying. They're lying. Well, what's all this data they're now leaking? Okay, maybe they got a little bit of data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it changes too. Like if there is customer access or access to customer data or not, like the style of the messaging changes really fast. And it's all, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like if that's your livelihood, that's how you make revenue. So are you going to be honest about it and try to maintain as much trust as possible, or play it off and hope it ends up in your favor?
Hope it ends up in my favor. Also too, like one of the things to keep in mind, it's as professionals, I won't speak for everyone, but I'll speak for myself. I love to hear how it happened, because there's a lot of lessons learned there. But a lot of places won't tell you because that would be providing you a lot of insight into their architecture and how things set up. So if you see it, cool. If I was an organization, I would not give a ton of details in terms of how it occurred. But lawyers, they want to reduce risk of lawsuits and how much they're going to have to pay out. So they're probably better to say nothing than to say something and admit fault, right? That's a lot of what lawyers want to steer away from, saying it's our fault.
Yeah. One thing that really annoys me, and it probably shouldn't, but it just does, is like when you log into a site and the code that you're supposed to enter comes from their Microsoft environment. And I'm like, cool. Now I know probably you're on SharePoint, you're using Teams, all of this trash, because if you use one product, you're probably using the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, probably. That's good. That's what we call intel. Good intel. All right. You're up next.
Let's do it.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm waiting.
Ah, man. I was laughing at it, but I wasn't sharing it. What an idiot. Could you hear it? No.
No.
Oh, okay. All right, here you go. You ready?
Who is this by?
You're gonna hate me for this one. I'm
Estrix?
fairly positive.
Essential cybersecurity apps with stay protected. First up, Bittern. It's a top-rated password manager with end-to-end encryption, keeping your password secure and synced across all devices. Next, Proton VPN. It's trusted for its non-logs policy and strong privacy features, making sure online activities stay safe even on public Wi-Fi. Finally, Malwarebytes. It's one of the best tools for detecting and removing malware, ransomware, and other cyber threats before they can harm your device. Install these apps, stay secure, and follow for more security tips.
Hold on, I want to see if I'm dumb or not. So, Bitwarden. What was the other one? Proton?
Yeah, Proton.
Okay, so you have a password manager, email, and then what was the last one? A VPN? Oh no, Proton.
Yeah.
It's a VPN.
Privacy features, making sure privacy features.
Malwarebytes.
Ah, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Pretty sure Malwarebytes. I thought they had been breached. Were they breached?
I don't know.
Maybe not. I'm not a fan of Malwarebytes, regardless. I don't have experience with the other one, Bitdefender. Or not Bitdefender, whatever it was. I always get it mixed up, Bitdefender and Bitwarden. And then Proton, yeah.
That's how you feel? Yeah. So how do you feel about VPNs like that?
So I personally use Surfshark as a VPN. I don't think you should use like Nord, for example, regardless of how many YouTube idiots they sponsor, because they will sell your data, but allegedly sell your data.
I mean, that's most VPNs. I mean, you're just changing who has
Yeah.
visibility into what you're doing.
Yeah, if something's free, you're the product usually.
There you go.
So I like Surfshark, but I don't think VPNs are a necessity for a lot of people. The whole like don't join public Wi-Fi's and all this stuff at airports, like sure, who's sitting there like sniffing packets and all this other jazz? I will use a VPN at an airport if I'm on my computer. If I'm on my phone, like I'm just going to use cellular. I'm not going to connect to Wi-Fi regardless. But I don't think it is the like castle and trenches that it has been portrayed to be, right? Like it's, and also if we look at Tor, and this is a very extreme example, but like Tor is the onion router, right? It is used for anonymity in most cases. Spoiler, governments have compromised a lot of the exit nodes and can pull your data. Like, there's people who have been doxxed through Tor. So if you think they can't do that through a VPN, if you're a, what's the word I'm looking for here? Starts with a D, not degenerate.
Dummy.
No, like the people who go against the government.
I don't know. Duck.
Yeah, ducks. Ducks aren't real. They're dinosaurs. But if you're like worried about that because of government or whatever it might be, dissident, that's the word, then a VPN is probably not going to save you, right?
That's a college word. Dissident.
Quit telling people I didn't go to college, bro. I went to several colleges. Yeah, the video annoyed me. But
Yeah. I also want to point out that Bitwarden, let me just also say, most password managers have had critical vulnerabilities in them. You're just trading one risk for another. I do support the use of password managers as a whole. I think they do alleviate more risk than if they're used properly, like you have unique passwords for everything and stuff like that. And then don't use browser extensions, MFA, all these things. But yeah, you're just trading one risk. Like if you have that, you have unique passwords, then your password spraying attacks are going to be kind of nulled. They're going to be nullified. But then you still have the risk of someone clicking a phishing email and then maybe them pulling from memory or something to that effect, or getting access from that. I mean, you could do keyloggers and still grab them that way, or grab everything from your what is it called? I was going to say Notepad, but it's not. Your clipboard, things like that. I mean, there's a risk to everything, is what I'm saying. But that has been one. Like Google was one of the ones that found vulnerabilities and dropped them. Google is funny. Good stuff. All right, 2 more, I think, and then we got to do a podcast. What? Oh, this one's mine. How many of mine have I? Oh, I'm on my last one. Okay,
right?
I think so.
I thought you started at the bottom.
No, I started at the top. I'm not Drake.
Man.
No further comment on that one. Oh, maybe I did start at the bottom because it's Sandra again. Unless they're the same.
No, yeah, you started at the bottom.
I think I went bottom then top.
No, you haven't done
And
the
then-
first one. I know that much.
Okay. Thank you. ADD.
Yeah, I like to, you know the song APT?
Nope.
Okay, well, there's a song, and it's a real catchy tune and annoying, but it's like apata, which is stupid because it's apartment. That's what they're discussing. But
On an apartment?
yeah, but I like to remix it as da 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 because my girlfriend has ADD.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Breaking this stuff down.
Oh,
Helps if you start from the beginning.
Great. Is cybersecurity like super hard? I keep hearing you need to be some genius or a coding wizard. That's such a big myth. Cybersecurity isn't about being a genius. It's about being curious and solving problems. But don't you have to know coding, like all that techie stuff? Not always. A lot of jobs are more about protecting data, stopping hackers, and using tools, not building software. Okay, but isn't it overwhelming? Like there's so much to learn. Start small. Use free resources like YouTube for hands-on practice and join communities like Cyber Career Club. People share tips all the time. Sounds less scary when you say it like that. But is it worth it? Like, do cybersecurity people even make good money? Oh, absolutely. Entry-level jobs can start at $70,000 a year. And with experience, you can go 6 figures easily. Plus, there's huge demand right now. Okay, I'm sold. Where do I start? Start with the free stuff. Take the free Cyber Career Quiz to help you understand what area of cybersecurity you want to get into, whether that's technical or non-technical. And from there, get more specialized training in that area. And then join communities like Cyber Career Club that provides mentoring and guidance. All right, how do you know so much about this? Oh, it's because I follow Caitlin. She's all about breaking this stuff down. Follow her if you want tips and guidance on how to break into cyber, and comment Cyber Career Quiz to be sent the link to the free quiz.
We already talked about salaries. I won't talk. What the hell is this? Yeah, we talked about salaries. I doubt you're going to make that much. Can you make 6 figures in a few years? Yeah, I did. I think that's possible. Again, it depends on how much effort you work, a little bit of luck, your particular market. I think there's a lot of things that go in that factor. Is it possible for everyone to make 6 figures? Probably not. not that fast. I doubt it. It's high in demand. Yes, I think that is a fallacy that a lot of people are pushing, a lot of influencers who are targeting the entry level market. And mine's kind of like my stuff's geared towards entry level too, but I don't push that. I think, yes, it's in demand, but for more experienced roles. I think it's the entry level roles are pretty difficult to come across, and there's not a ton of them. And one of the other things that have kind of been brought to light recently is there's all these job listings for jobs, and so there's all these metrics that say, hey, we got millions of unfulfilled jobs, or whatever the number is, something outrageous. There's so many duplicates out there. Companies are also posting jobs, and this is for every industry, where they want to show that business is going so great they're hiring, but they never hire. Or they want to basically mislead their employees to show them, hey, don't worry, help's coming soon, and they never hire. you know In summary, I think that's very misleading. I don't think there are as many entry level jobs as a lot of influencers are saying for people getting into it. It is insanely competitive. So if you think you're going to walk through the door, unless you have some crazy network connection, it's probably not going to be that easy as you think. You're going to be spending some time in the books, in the labs, learning, putting in some applications, going to networking events, doing whatever you can do to get the job. I did some mentoring last year, where I actually did labs and taught. It was a group of guys, and one girl, and teaching them how to do stuff. I like training. I like teaching people, and it still took them. Some of them haven't even gotten a cybersecurity job yet, and it's been over a year. Some of them have had to be very creative in terms of their approach, where trying to maneuver internally to get that job, basically volunteering for compliance work or whatever to start taking it on, and then they expand their business practice. It's a service provider, and then so their scope of work changes. And some of them just stayed where they were because they were all in IT in some aspect. They were just trying to get into cybersecurity. And even with that experience, where people are telling you, hey, get some kind of experience and you'll be able to shift right into cybersecurity. No, it's cool to see, but an apple is not an orange. Just because you know how to install antivirus and re-image a system doesn't mean you know how to analyze logs and do anything with cybersecurity. So yeah, I hate people like misleading people trying to get into cybersecurity. It's tough. It's tougher than they're saying. Be prepared to fight for a job. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm curious. With the market and stuff like that being heavily tied to your geolocation, do you think that it's more difficult to enter cybersecurity as a college graduate, like recent college graduate, or someone who has been in IT who is trying to move over into security?
Good question. I think if you are in school and you do the right things, you will have an easier time making that shift. So when I advise people, say you're, I don't know, maybe a sophomore in college, you have 2 more years to go, or a year and a half, however, if you're in an expedited program, you should be preparing your resume, starting that early, getting internships, doing certifications, doing labs, competitions, getting involved in your community, going to networking events. If you start prepping early, you will have an easier time than someone who's just been in IT. That's all they've been doing, and now they're looking to get into cybersecurity. You're laying that pathway. And for more tips, like, share, and subscribe. No, but legit, that's what I tell people. If you're in college, you're going to pursue this. Start early. Don't be that lazy person or the unthoughtful person who waits till they're a senior, they're about to graduate, and say, hey, I should probably start looking for a job. You have no certifications. All you have is this piece of paper. You're probably not going to find a job that quick. I promise. And you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be pissed off. You're going to say everyone's lying to you, which if you've been, depending on the influencer you've been following, probably. Yeah, start early. Start doing these things. You can stack them up. A lot of schools are offering vouchers for certifications. There's free study materials. They may have access to free labs, like an internal lab in the facility. It could be like Udemy or something like that, where there's free study guides, study courses. They offer internships, externships, whatever kind of flavor they want to throw on it. There's a lot of programs out there for people in college. SANS has a lot of courses, a lot of grants, I think is what they call them, or scholarships. So diversity type scholarships, and then also veterans. So if you're a person of color, if you're a female, if you're a veteran, you can apply to these programs and get 2 to 3 certifications for free. So start networking too. There's all they bring in people, business owners from the community. There's usually internal networking events. There's also networking events out in the community. Start talking to people, shaking hands. Hey, find a mentor. Mentors are another great spot. There's a lot of things, a lot of pieces you can put in place to make your life easier when it's time to actually start looking for your first time job.
Yeah. And with all that said, I mean, there are people who start at 6 figures as well. Like, we know people who have started knowing absolutely nothing.
That's fair.
Yeah, so it does happen. It's not that everything is a lie, per se. And
it's just very hard, though, right?
Yeah.
Like those programs are few and far between, and from what I hear, they're insanely competitive.
Yeah, I have a friend who graduated from a local university to, like, in Virginia. Several people that we work with have probably gone through the university, George Mason, and he's been doing IT for a law firm because he didn't get accepted into like a rotational program. And I mean, he makes good money for sure. I don't know if he makes the same amount that, you know, the rotational program students make, not students because they graduated, but like the rotational program members make. And it's definitely different work. I've seen some stuff where it's like, hey, can you upload this PDF for me? And he's like, really? Like, I have to drag and drop this for you because you don't like, you don't want to do this yourself. So it's been very enlightening to see some of the stuff that he's had to deal with compared to like some of the stuff that we've put some of our rotational program members through.
It depends on the leader too. I mean, recent grads, I mean, you can't really trust them to do anything complicated or sophisticated for the most part. So you have to be really strategic with what you put them on, what types of projects you give them. Otherwise, it's a train wreck waiting to happen. And you just have to build them. I mean, you're investing in these people. So, and it is what it is. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, and you're also going to take what you can get when you're kind of in a tight spot regardless. All right, last one, and then we will shift to recording. Let me find.
This one's actually a lot longer than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. Yeah, I maybe we should have just did like 3 or something, but whatever. Whatever. Live, learn. We're long-winded. There you go. There's the word. So this is a threat intel poem by Chris Cochran. All right, be prepared to be amazed. And I chose this. I just want to kind of briefly talk about why I chose this, because AJ loves intel as much as I do. So this is for you.
Threat Intel by Chris Cochran. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm in Threat Intel. From dissecting people's malware to putting bad hackers in jail. I don't need to fantasize, I just need to analyze, putting APTs in their place and bring them down to size. Been doing a little bit more than hoarding IOCs, predicting these trends, that's really how I be. My whole squad is analysis and production. We make assessments, and that's the end of the discussion. Covert operatives like we're all 007, looking at trends, threats, and Stranger Things like 11. Listen, why do you think the last crime team fell? Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm in Threat Intel. Thank you.
Thoughts, sir?
Content.
That's the end of the show, everyone.
Content. Trash. Absolutely trash. But the dude sounds funny. Like, I don't know. I don't think he went up there expecting this to be like, a great poem that'll be written in books and stuff like that. Like, I think he kind of knew what he has. Also, never compare yourself to 007 and Threat Intel. That's like saying, oh, I'm a spy because I watch spy shows. Get out of town.
Yeah. I mean, it's like saying you're, I don't know, compared to something, but you just work at a copy shop, a Xerox machine.
Yeah. I'm an NFL player because I work in the front office for a sports team.
At a sports bar.
Yeah, those.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
We trash talk Intel. It's all fun and games. I was supposed to have a live stream with my Intel buddy on Thursday. I don't know if you've met him, but his family's got the flu, so I won't have him. But, yeah.
I also think that was maybe produced with AI. Not the video,
you think this was?
but like the content.
Oh, probably. Oh, guaranteed.
Yeah. Also, who clapped for that? Like,
Chris Cochran. Was that AI generated?
I've seen some slam poetry, but like not.
Oh yeah,
not
you're
like
into that kind of stuff.
No, I'm not. No.
Starting rumors, like I tried to start a rumor that one of my friends loves trains. So every time I introduce him to someone, like, yeah, he loves trains. Yeah, so that's great.
I have a comment that's not for life.
Jeez, getting delirious before the podcast. All right, so yeah, so hopefully people will enjoy this. Some insights from the podcast hosts of C-Suite Cyber. Yeah, follow the channel if you haven't been following it. Check us out on Spotify or whatever. But we'll start doing some more of these on whatever topics that we think we can provide some insight, some value, a couple of cents worth of stuff.
Yeah. If you have any topics, comment down below. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about, react to. Maybe you have a specific video that you want us to watch. Pretty sure you could tell that I make a lot of facial expressions when it comes to it, whereas Mike just sits there and smiles. Or is one of these?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's great. Thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, we have a Discord channel. We've been posting it in there. So if you have, I should probably make one for like live questions or whatever, where you can go in there and drop them in there, and we'll talk about them on things like this and react or videos you want us to react to. So comments or Discord, join us in Discord also. All right, that's the end of that one. See you, people. All right, let me see.